Introducing GeForce TV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's Monday Night Madness in the GeForce Racing Leagues. Advantage Racing TV and GeForce Esports TV welcomes you to the GeForce Racing League Renegades, presented by A&J Custom Creations. Tonight, the Renegades heading to the sprint car capital of the world. We are on the Marion County Fairgrounds in Knoxville, Iowa. Get set for this very, very exciting world-famous racetrack where the Renegades take on the big half-miler here this evening. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Neisted. We welcome you to the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show. Gambler Motorsports, an esports racing team that competes across the iRacing platform. The team has drivers entering dirt races, sports cars, paved cars, even endurance races. This year, they'll even have drivers in the prestigious 24 Hours of Daytona and Le Mans. Go to Gambler Motorsports on Facebook and follow them. Tonight's race, just one of 19 GeForce Racing League divisions that compete during the week. So glad to have you here. You can find more by searching for GeForce Racing Leagues on Facebook. If you're a fan of just about any kind of racing across the iRacing platform, the GeForce Group, they have a league just for you. We welcome you in here to the Knoxville Raceway. And before we get talking about this world-famous racetrack that really needs no introductions, let's take a moment for your Need Speed Motorsports points update coming into the second event of this series. And it should be an exciting one here tonight with week number 2. The drivers coming off of the bull ring of Limaland Speedway last week. Tonight, they'll stretch their legs out here on the big track. Sean Bowers is your points leader coming into this event. Brandon Schultz will sit number 2 in the points coming into this evening. Great race between those drivers last week at Limaland, by the way. And Sean Bowers may have picked up the win on Monday night, but Brandon Schultz was able to pick up the win with the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds on Thursday. Back to the point standings, Jonathan Short sits number 3. Lane Snook sits number 4. Donovan Ross completes the top 5. Jack Clevenger is 6th. Kyle Moonen is 7th. Chris Steele is 8th. Kevin Fry is 9th. And Lance Ripka completing the top 10 in points for the Renegades coming into tonight's racing action here at the Knoxville Raceway. That is the GeForce Racing League Renegades presented by A&J Custom Creations, where they specialize in laser engraving and CNC machining. A&J Custom Creations puts all of its craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque that they produce. A little bit more practice going on out here on the big half mile. You see the cars making their way down into turn number 1. See Lane Snook, one of the cars out there on the speedway. Also looks like going around there with Snook is the 301 of Michael Redding making his way around the racetrack. You see them heading down into this. Let's talk about this racetrack as they come off of turn number 2 by the Knoxville National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, plus the Brian Clausen Tower. Let's talk about this track. Here's the front straightaway. Big, long, flat straightaway. Now you've got options when you get into the corner. The bottom is very good. The top will be very good here. But way down there on the bottom, if you look closely when you're in the corner, and yeah, we're going to get a close-up look at it right there. Yep, up and on it. That inside berm, it will bite you. If you get down there on that berm, it can grab that left front tire and kind of pull you up on it or shoot you up across the racetrack. That will be one thing to look out for here tonight, as we saw the 69 of Aiden Young come across the screen, and he heads down into turn number 3. So that'll be something to watch here tonight. Also, as this track dries out, that top group gets good, but then the cushion right up there against the world-famous Knoxville tall guardrail, it can get very rough up there. And look for that to develop later on in the program, right around A main time, or maybe even later into the A main. And then right about there, if you're running up on the cushion late in the A feature, it almost builds a jump up there. So much dirt will get pushed up against the wall that there will almost be kind of a jump up there at the very top of the racetrack. So look at that. It forms right where the cars throw that slide job, come sliding across the slick, and then they catch the cushion there at the exit of turn 2, and it'll do a little bit, not as much over in 4. Watch for that to develop in tonight's A&J Custom Creations A main. Gets a little bit treacherous on the top here at the Knoxville Raceway, but if you can hit it, you will be lights out fast. So that's a little bit to think of when it comes to getting around here. One lap around the Knoxville Raceway, half mile. We're going to burn a lot of fuel tonight as well when we come to that A main. That's going to have plenty of laps, plenty of time to get around the racetrack. I believe we're scheduled for 30 laps in our A main here this evening, so it's going to take quite a bit of fuel, well over 20 gallons, probably that 22, 24. Some guys, if they're really pushing the pedal, might have to take a skosh more than that. That's a lot of weight in the back end of these cars, and you betcha that iRacing has that calculated, and you will see the cars change in their handling dramatically from the start of that race in the A main tonight when they're carrying, think about that, 7 pounds per gallon of fuel. That's a lot of fuel that'll be in the tail tank of these cars, so it'll change a lot when we get from the start of that A main to the mid-race point, and then those last few laps when they're getting down there to less than 50 pounds floating around in the tail tank. So yeah, right there, great shot from our producer tonight, Ryan Dugan, off the back of a tail tank, looking at the push bumper as cars head for the infield. They'll have a quick little driver's session down there, and then we will get into tonight's Bandy-Built Racing and Bandy-Built race cars qualifications. So those are coming up here in just a couple moments. 2 laps for every driver against the clock, and that will set the starting lineup for our heat races here tonight. And then the heat races set the lineups for our mains. Of course, we will also have a last chance showdown here tonight, or a B main, or a consolation, or whatever you want to call it. It is brought to us by Velocity Race Design. That will be at the conclusion of all of our heat races here tonight. Heat races, by the way, 8 laps in distance. Top 4 will transfer to the A&J Custom Creations A main out of each and every heat race here this evening. So that's a little bit about the track. That's a little bit about the format here tonight. How many cars are checked in, you're wondering? Right around 30 we'll have competing. So good field of cars here tonight. As there you see a nice look of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. If you have never been to the Knoxville Raceway, there's the Brian Clausen Suite Towers and the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, a little off in the distance there, overlooking the exit of turn number 2. If you've never been down to the Knoxville Raceway, Knoxville, Iowa, it's worth the trip. If you're watching this in Ontario, if you're watching this in Florida, if you're watching this in Oregon or Washington State, well worth the trip out here to the Midwest. Stop by the Rib Shack, too. They even built the Rib Shack into iRacing. How about that? Also, the Casey's General Store right across the street from the racetrack right now. Gas is $2.35 a gallon over there. So, yeah, it seems about right. You'll even see traffic if you get a look outside of turns 1 and 2 here tonight. The highway that runs through Knoxville And you take that highway, you head right north up into Newton, Iowa, by the way. But you'll even see traffic right outside the racetrack here tonight. So pretty cool stuff as we roll into Bandy-Built race cars qualifications here this evening. Bandy-Built race cars proud to support the GForce Racing Leagues. They're headquartered in Rochester, Minnesota. And Bandy-Built puts a focus on fun and friendly competition. Proud to say I've been to the Bandy-Built Speed Shop several times over the years. As we see cars hitting the racetrack right now for qualifications, we'll see one car at a time, but many of the drivers hitting the track at the same time, and we'll watch the times come in on the top of the screen. And this is going to be quick, hot, and heavy Bandy-Built qualification session. Steven Goldner on the top of the charts. The 30 machine of 15.526 sets the early quick time, with Jack Clevenger in position number 2 of 15.590. Aiden Young just bumped down to the 4th spot by Michael Redding, who goes 15.666. Now Lane Snook up the 3rd of 15.630. Chris Steele just took the 4th spot, the 80 car of 15.658. Michael Redding now 5th. Sean Bowers just jumped up to 6th. Aiden Young is 7th. Maxim Langevin in the 9th spot, as Corey Kussler just jumped up to 4th. Better lap on lap number 2. Lane Snook now 2nd. Quick 15.542. 1.5542 for the young driver of the 123 machine. John Short just took 4th in the 51, 15.611. So times coming in, continuing here in the Bandy-Built quick time qualifications. You see the times across the top of your screen as well. Great ticker there by Ryan Dugan. Steven Goldner, though, he was the first one out to shoot to the top, and that time has held about 200ths of a second. 16 thousandths of a second, technically. Steven Goldner, your quick timer in the 30 of 15.526. That is flying with the 360. Jesse Bandy takes his lap. He'll rip off a 5th quick in the 57 machine, a 15.633. 1.5633 5th quick for the 57 of Jesse Bandy. He is just behind John Short, who is 4th quick. Clevenger sits 3rd, Snook 2nd, and Goldner out front. Looks like Jesse Bandy, lap number 2, as Ross Carenta just chimed in, a 0.10. The 0.10 car goes 15.611. That is 5th quick, just ahead of Bandy, just behind John Short by less than a 1,000th of a second. So very close there for the 4th and 5th position between John Short and Ross Carenta. Jesse Bandy 6th, Chad Coate 7th, Corey Kussler 8th, Chris Steele 9th, and Chase Hess completing the top 10 as qualifications come to an end. Congratulations, Steven Goldner in the number 30 car, going to be your Bandy-Built qualifications quick time award recipient here tonight. That brings us into heat race action. Our first heat race is brought to us by A&J Custom Creations. A&J Custom Creations specializes in laser engraving and CNC machining. A&J Custom Creations puts its craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque that they produce, and A&J provides trophies and plaques to all of the GForce Racing League division champions. Contact Andy Patton to order your custom creation today. 19 racing leagues. That's a lot of champions for A&J Custom Creations to be handing out hardware to. We're very early on in this point season, so let's not get too caught up in the points just yet, but always got to keep that in the back of your mind. As we do that, let's take a look at the starting grid for this one. On the pole position, that'll be the number 69 of Aiden Young. And next to him, that's Chris Steele in car number 80. We go to row number 2. It's Ross Carenta in the 10 machine on the inside, and Steven Goldner in the number 30, your quick timer in the Bandy-Built ride. He'll start outside of the second row. We go to the third row. It's Terry Landis out of California. He drives the 661, and John Hine in the 71 will line up in the 6th spot. And your fourth and final row, Steven Fernberg in car number 29 on the inside. Nice gold on that car, too, by the way. And Preston Cranmer in the 07 will line up in position number 8 in his Epsilon Sprint Wraps ride. That is your starting lineup. 8 cars, 8 laps. Top 4 transfer directly to tonight's A-Main, which is presented by A&J Custom Creations. Field formed up behind the iRacing Pace vehicle. Wally Price, the virtual Wally Price in the Pace truck here tonight. Wally Price, of course, the longtime pace truck driver down there at the Knoxville Raceway. We'll have the virtual Justin Clark on the flag stand. Of course, we all know Barney is the head flag man here on iRacing. As we've got 5 heat races by the looks of things. Again, 4 transfer, 8 laps the distance in the field, beginning to make their way towards that starting area in turn number 4. Aiden Young, Chris Steele, side by side on A&J Custom Creations heat race number 1. They bring us to the green. Pace begins to pick up. We wait for the green. It flies, and we are underway at the Knoxville Raceway with the Renegades, presented by A&J Custom Creations for the GForce Racing Leagues. Little contact there, and we've got a little trouble down the back straightaway. Your quick timer, Steven Goldner, with trouble. He got turned after the contact, and he has fallen to the 8th position. So tough break there for the driver who come out and set the mark in Bandy-built qualifications. Right now, that puts John Hine, the 71 machine, in the final transfer spot as they race down into turn number 3. He's got Terry Landis in the 661 right behind him. Fresh racetrack as we go on board the 661 of Terry Landis, and the bottom is where they want to be, right next to that berm as they work down the back straightaway. Yeah, it is a very, very heavy, fast racetrack right now, and it's going to take some kind of big moves to advance positions here in this A&J Custom Creations heat race number 1. Out front, it is Aiden Young, the 69 machine. You see them heading away from you. Young's lead over Chris Steele, starting to grow just a little bit. It's at 0.4 of a second. Steele in the second spot has Ross Carenta all over him. Carenta in the 10 machine, trying to hold John Hine behind him. We'll see if Hine is able to hold off Terry Landis for that final transfer spot. Landis closed in, took a little peek there into turn number 3, but Hine with the better drive off of turn 4, and he'll continue to hold the final ticket to the A main. And if you pay attention to the sponsors on that 661, that's the E-Toronto ticket to the A main that he's trying to get. As they work their way now down the front straightaway, we've got 2 laps to go in the A&J Custom Creations heat race number 1. Ross Carenta trying to move around just a little bit. We go on board. Chris Steele looking back at the 10 of Ross Carenta. Carenta looks to the inside, takes a peek. He's right there. Now takes a little peek to his outside. You see him looking back on this final time off of turn number 2. Carenta's there, gives a little push to the tail tank. They'll head to turn number 3 for the final time. It's all Aiden Young out front. The 69 is going to pick up the win. For the second spot, it's Chris Steele. Carenta will finish in 3rd, and John Hine, the final transfer to tonight's A main. Terry Landis was 5th. Steven Fernberg finishes 6th. Steven Goldner comes back to finish in 7th. So 1 heat race into the books, and that will bring us to the McAnee Speed Shop, heat race number 2. At the McAnee Setup Shop, they may be their setups, but they're your victories. McAnee's commitment to providing high-quality setups at an affordable price has remained since day 1, and it drives the company to this day. McAnee Setup Shop builds a personal relationship with each and every customer, and of course, they have an open-door policy when it comes to communication. McAnee Setup Shop, helping your iRacing team go faster today. Heat race number 2, ready to bring onto the racetrack from McAnee Setup Shop. This is another 8-lap event with the top 4 transferring to the A. We'll have a pair of Canadian drivers on the front row. That'll be the 161 of Max Langevin on the inside. And to his right, the 767, that is Chase Hess. We go to the second row on the inside from Rochester, Minnesota, the Bandy-built number 57. That's Jesse Bandy. And to his right, it is Lane Snook, the 123, who had a podium finish last Monday night. Blake Chapman starts inside the third row. The number 20 car has the 217 of Jack Hitt on his outside. And to the final row, it's Joe Backus, the 46, the Galen's homegrown popcorn entry, and Troy Stewart in the 117, lining up alongside of him. Looks like Backus and Stewart have not made it out onto the track for this heat race. So 6 cars, 8 laps, top 4 go directly to the A&J Custom Creations A main. Nice night down there at the Knoxville Raceway right now. Just a light breeze. If you look at the iRacing weather, pretty nice night down there at Knoxville. Set to go. Field working themselves off to turn number 4. Max Langevin setting the pace in the 161. Chase Hess, 767 alongside him. 6-pack of cars ready to crack it wide open. with the green flag, and we are underway with the Mechanis Setup Shop Heat Race number 2. Good start there from Maximum Langevin. He'll take the lead side by side for the second spot. Jesse Bandy able to grab the second position, or does he? Slides up, wrist in front of Chase Hess. Now Hess is going to have to gather it up. He's lost third to Lane Snook, and now he works the top of the racetrack. Coming through is the 20 of Blake Chapman. Chapman looking for the final ticket and final transfer spot, but he is side by side with Chase Hess. They go through turn 3, now to turn number 4. Track widening out just a little bit here as the 767 of Chase Hess works back to his inside. Hess on the inside. Chapman in position number 4. Cars looking a little more racy here in this Mechanis Setup Shop Heat Race number 2. With that racing going on for the final transfer spot, they are pulling away as we go on board. There's a great look at the tail tank of the Chase Hess in the 767. That is on board Jack Hitt in the 217. He's got a lot going on right in front of him with Blake Chapman still side by side with Chase Hess. They were wheel to wheel into turn number 1 as we remain on board the 217 of Jack Hitt. Now we'll take a look as they race past us down into turn number 3. Still, anybody's guess who's going to get that final transfer spot is out front. They're starting to race for the lead. 3 laps to go. The groove has moved up. Max Langevin still trying to hold on to that bottom, but Jesse Bandy starting to work the top, and that may open the bottom for Lane Snook in the 123. Here we go for the race lead off of turn number 4. They'll see 2 laps to go as they head into turn number 1. Langevin, Bandy, and Snook all comfortably in transfer positions as Bandy looks for the race lead and heading into turn number 3. Snook right there with them. Now they'll try 3 wide off of the corner. Will that work? We had a little tangle up behind them, but we stay on this race for the lead on the last lap. Bandy crossover. The Bandy built 57 looks to the inside. A little mini slide job getting into turn number 3. Can he hold on to the momentum off of turn number 4? Jesse Bandy gets it done and wins the Mechanis Setup Shop Heat Race number 2. Max Langevin second, Lane Snook third, and Jack Hitt gets the final transfer spot. Chase Hess was 5th, Blake Chapman 6th, Joe Backus crossed the line in 7th. Already the racing getting good, and that's just 2 heat races in the books. Now, the Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race coming our way. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services is the #1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the United States. Scott Hurwitt at Howard Hanna Real Estate has been a multi-million-dollar commercial and residential real estate agent for many years. He can help anyone find an experienced professional realtor anywhere across the United States with the experience and knowledge to ask the right questions to get the best house at the right price. That's Howard Hanna Real Estate and Scott Hurwitt at Howard Hanna Real Estate, bringing us Heat Race number 3. Starting grid for this 8-lap event with 4 transfer spots up for grabs. We'll go like this. It's Jeff Fitzpatrick out of Minnesota in the Bandy built number 90 starting on the pole position, and Michael Redding in the 301 next to him. Row number 2 on the inside, that's Chad Coate in the number 11 car. He's coming off a 3rd place run just a little bit ago with the Rebels division, and Jack Clevenger on his outside piloting car number 78. Jeffrey Barker starts inside the 3rd row. That's the 513 machine, and Connor Ross next to him in car number 35. To the 4th and final row, starting shotgun on the field will be the 35 of Andy Patton. That is your starting lineup. Nick, that the 87 of Andy Patton. The 35 is Connor Ross. Getting a little ahead of myself there. Andy Patton in the 87. Connor Ross, by the way, coming off a 2nd place run just a little bit ago with the Rebels division. So a couple of drivers that got some good experience, some good laps around the racetrack just a little bit ago, and they transferred on to the big show for Monday Night Madness, and they will have their chance here when we drop the green next time off of turn number 4 in the Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 3. By the way, congratulations once again to Donovan Ross, the driver of the number 5 machine. He picked up the win with the Rebels division earlier tonight. That is 2 in a row for the driver of the number 5 ride, as he picked up the Rebels. He picked up the Rebels win last week as well. So a lot of good stuff going on here tonight as we get set for this Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 3. Pace about to pick up when we come to the green flag off of turn number 4. We're racing down into turn number 1. Michael Redding, the 301, leads him on down in there. Here comes the 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick working along his outside, trying to pick up a position. Can't quite get there just yet. Or does he? Down to turn number 1, still side by side, just in front of Clevenger. Coat right there in the 4th position in the 11. Connor Ross 1 spot out of a transfer. New leader off of turn number 4. It's Jeff Fitzpatrick. Fitzy out to the lead. Here comes that 78 of Clevenger looking to the inside of the 301 of Redding. They were side by side off the corner for just a moment. Could not get there. Also look at the 11 of Chad Coate coming off of turn number 4. Bright pink on that car. He's got the final transfer spot, trying to get some insurance. Now they start to battle just outside of a transfer spot, as the race for the 5th position between Connor Ross and Andy Patton is a good one, with Jeffrey Barker right there with them as well. So that is getting pretty wild. Speaking of wild, that 2nd place spot, you just saw it flash. Oh, some contact and trouble over there. A couple cars upside down. It's Connor Ross and Andy Patton with trouble over there. Their heat race going to come to an end. Out front, it is still Fitz Perfect. Fitzpatrick leading them, but they're side by side for the 2nd spot. Clevenger took a look to the inside of Redding, couldn't make it work. Down through 3 and 4, they'll come by the flags. 2 laps to go on this one as we go on board. That 301 of Michael Redding looking back at Jack Clevenger as they head to turn number 3. Big crowd here at the Knoxville Raceway tonight. See the big crowd every time you look at the grandstands here. Front and back stretch packed to capacity. As Fitzy sees the white flag. Final lap for the number 90 machine, looking to hold on to win this Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 3. Off of turn number 4 they will come. Nobody's going to catch him. Jeff Fitzpatrick picks up the win. Michael Redding in 2nd, Jack Clevenger 3rd, and the final transfer spot goes to Chad Coate. Jeffrey Barker was 5th. Andy Patton credited with the 6th spot. 4th heat race on deck here. It's the Schultz Heating and Cooling heat race number 4. Schultz Heating and Cooling, the HVAC experts in Plattsburgh, New York. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, the Schultz Heating and Cooling technicians are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Call Schultz Heating and Cooling at 585-330-4992. That's Schultz Heating and Cooling, 585-330-4992. Schultz Heating and Cooling bringing us this 4th heat race. 8 laps the distance on this one. Here's how the drivers are lining up for heat race number 4. It's Kyle Moonen out of Ohio in the 24 machine. He lines up on the point. Sean Bowers, who picked up the win last week, the number 03. Remember, he said he liked his chance on the bull ring. Wasn't sure how he would do this week here at Knoxville. He'll start outside row number 1. 2nd row, Corey Kussler, the 126 inside. John Short in 51 on his outside. Donovan Ross in car number 5. We'll talk about him again in a second. He starts inside row 3 with Matt Ramsey starting on his outside, piloting the 45. And the 519 of Rob Shaw coming from the tail of the field in the 7th position. Again, Donovan Ross starting inside the 3rd row in the number 5 machine. Been looking pretty strong, a little sporty here so far this season with the Rebels division, which races 1 hour prior to the start of this division. There you see his Devo Transport number 5. Good run for him. Picked up a dominant win last week at Limaland with the Rebels, and did so again tonight with the Rebels at the Knoxville Raceway. And we'll see if what he learned earlier tonight transfers into this one. Speaking of transferring, 4 positions transfer out of this heat race, brought to us by Schultz Heating and Cooling to the A&J Custom Creations A-Main here tonight. And we're about to get this one underway. 8 laps is your distance. We look for the start. And the green flag will drop. We are underway, heading them down into turn number 1. Oh, trouble there deep in the field. The 51 of John Short got sideways. Rob Shaw got collected into him, lost his nose wing. You see the rest of the field able to continue on. Big move there. The 5 of Donovan Ross went dive into the bottom of the racetrack, but couldn't make the pass. Out front, it is Kyle Moonen. The 24 machine has the lead. Sean Bowers in the 2nd spot. Matt Ramsey powering around the outside of the 45 as Bowers made a little contact with the back straightaway wall. Looking to the inside is Corey Kussler, the 126, looking to gain some insurance. He currently rides in the final transfer spot down on the bottom through one, now into turn number 2. Kussler and Ramsey side by side through that corner. Advantage comes back to Kussler in the 45. Donovan Ross now goes to the top line, and he is going to work on the 126 of Kussler. Can he get there? He'll have to switch and go to the bottom down into turn number 1. They get wheel to wheel, but little advantage there for Kussler with some more momentum as they come off of the turn. We'll be halfway in the Schultz Heating and Cooling Heat Race number 4 as we cross by the flag stand. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Down the back straightaway they go into turn number 3. Kyle Moonen well in control of this one, the number 24 machine. Down the flag stand. Oh, we've heading up for the 4th and final transfer spot. Donovan Ross going around, and the 126 of Corey Kussler goes around. They have fallen to 6th and 7th. So just like that, John Short now in a transfer spot in the 51 machine. He had some trouble on the opening lap, so a bit of luck here tonight for the driver of the number 51. Out front, though, with a lap and a half remaining, it is all Kyle Moonen. The Vanderbilt 24 goes down the front straightaway and takes the white flag. Final lap underway on this one. It is a 0.4 of a second lead for Moonen over Bowers in position number 2. Bowers trying to give chase. He'll take a shot to the bottom of the racetrack, closes in just a bit, but the win will go to Kyle Moonen in the 24. Bowers crosses in second. Ramsey finishes third. John Short fourth. Rob Shaw was fifth. Donovan Ross sixth. And Corey Kussler finishes in the 7th spot. That brings us to tonight's consolation. Your B main ready to rumble on to the Knoxville Raceway, with the final transfer positions up for grabs on this one. 8 will transfer to the big dance after 10 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. Tonight's B-Main brought to you by Velocity Race Design. Look no further than Velocity Race Design for a fresh new look on your favorite dirt car. Whether it's that hot new design for your real car or a retro throwback of your hero for the sim, Velocity Race Design has you covered. Race over to Velocity Race Design on Facebook and order yourself a custom paint design. That's Velocity Race Design bringing you this B feature event. Last chance to get into the A top 8 transfer. 10 laps is the distance. Your starting grid will go like this on the pole. The 661, Terry Landis out of California. Chase Hess in the 767 joining him on your opening row. Row 2, the 513, Jeffrey Barker on the inside, and Rob Shaw next to him in the 5 with a 19. Steven Fernberg in the 29 starts inside the 3rd row, and going from 6th on the grid is the 20 of Blake Chapman. We go to row number 4. That's where Connor Ross lines up on the inside in 35. Donovan Ross on his outside in the 5 machine. Those two drivers lining up side by side in row number 4 were 1st and 2nd tonight in the Rebels event. Row number 5, Stephen Goldner on the inside, the number 30 with Joe Backus on his outside in the number 46. 6th row has Andy Patton in the 87 on the inside. Outside of Patton will be Corey Kussler in 126. Preston Cranmer drives the 07 car. He will line up inside the 7th row with Troy Stewart in the 117 outside of him. 14 cars scheduled to go, 10 times around, 8 transferring to the A&J Custom Creations A main event. So the field forming up behind the iRacing Pace vehicle, and we will be set to go for the green off of turn number 4. So final qualifying event of this race night for the A&J Custom Creations Renegades for the GeForce Racing League. On the racetrack and ready to cut them loose off of turn number 4. Terry Landis, Chase Hess side by side on the opening row. Track's still very, very fast. You're going to have to be smart, and if you're starting outside the top 8, you're going to have to make some bold moves to get up there into a transfer position. Throttles go down as we race them down into turn number 1 for the first time in this Velocity Race Design B main. Side by side for the race lead. Hess on the outside, Landis on the inside, still wheel to wheel for that spot. Oh, a little contact, and up and over will go one of the top drivers. So big break, or big tough break there for Chase Hess. Started on the front row, He is out of this Velocity Race Design B main. That moves Jeffrey Barker up to the second position. Connor Ross is third. Behind them, they're 3 wide for the 5th position. And a big pileup forming air on the front straightaway. They're going to race and dice and flip, and we've got a mess all the way over into turn number 2 where Donovan Ross is getting wheeled in that 5 machine. Oh, we're going to have to sort things out once again. Landis, Barker, and Connor Ross are in the top 3 spots. Rob Shaw runs in 4th, and 5th is Steven Goldner. Remember, he was your Bandy-Built Racing quick timer. As you see the race going on behind them, they were 3 wide. Rob Shaw, by the way, is 5th. Joe Backus is 6th after missing the start of his heat race. Steven Fernberg in the 29 is in the 7th spot, and Donovan Ross has the final transfer position in that number 5. You see the 07 of Preston Cranmer coming after him. So working lap 5 of 10 on this one, and there's been a whole lot of action all over the racetrack. Right now, Donovan Ross trying to get a little bit of insurance. He will get that spot. Put Steven Fernberg now on the bubble, as we just saw one of the cars take a sail. That was Preston Cranmer in the 07 up in the fence, and it looks like his night coming to an end. Oh boy, some tough luck for these drivers in this B main. We now see the 126 Corey Kussler is in the 9th spot. Steven Fernberg in the 29 continues to have the final transfer spot. That's behind the 5 of Donovan Ross. You see the Steven Fernberg 29 got the very metallic numbers on there. As the laps click down, 3 laps to go, they flash by you down the back straightaway. Kussler, the black car, red numbers, 1 spot out. Andy Patton working on him as well. Rest of the front of the field, they have sorted things out. They're playing this game smart right now. A big mental game in this Velocity Race Design B main to make sure you don't do anything that runs you out of talent in this one with just a couple of circuits to go. The battle is for the final transfer spot. As you see positions up front, up for grabs. The final transfer spot now up for grabs as they go side by side. Corey Kussler in the 126, last chance to make the move in turns 3 and 4. He's not going to get there. Steven Fernberg's going to hold on and get the last ticket to tonight's A main. A wild Velocity Race Design B main here tonight. I want to give you the results of that one here in just a second as they go official. It looks like this. Here's your finish. Steven Goldner, your Bandy-Built quick timer, is your winner in the Velocity Race Designs B main. Jeffrey Barker 2nd, Terry Landis 3rd, Connor Ross 4th, Joe Backus 5th, Donovan Ross was 6th, Rob Shaw 7th, and Steven Fernberg in that 8th and final transfer spot. Corey Kussler 9th, Andy Patton 10th, Blake Chapman 11th, Preston Cranmer 12th, Chase Hess 13th, and Troy Stewart credited with 14th here in this B main. Little work on the racetrack, a little burn-in session to get the track ready to go, because right around the corner we've got your A&J Custom Creations A main, 30 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. As we enter your Icon Sim Sports pre-main break, Icon Sim Sports aims to bring the sim racing community a one-of-a-kind fixed chassis experience like no other, while exemplifying extraordinary customer service. We'll learn more about Icon Sim Sports, and we'll introduce you to this week's NSM Photos Driver of the Week right after these messages. Stay with us from Knoxville.
At McConey Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. Prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. Do you need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.McConeySetupShop.com and find yourself in Victory Lane. McConey Setup Shop. handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
Welcome back to the Knoxville Raceway with the G-Force Racing League's Renegade Series presented by A&J Custom Creations, and welcome back into the Icon Sim Sports pre-main break. We're moments away from tonight's A&J Custom Creations A feature. NSM Photos is the newest division of Need Speed Motorsports. NSM Photos is able to provide professional-looking pictures in both 1080p as well as stunning 4K resolution. In addition to pictures, NSM Photos also offers hero cards as another awesome way to show off your car, your team, and you. Check out NSM Photos on Facebook and at needspeedmotorsports.com. Want to introduce you to this NSM Photos Driver of the Week, who is Trevor Mattingly. So congratulations to newcomer Trevor Mattingly on capturing the NSM Photos Driver of the Week award for week number 1 of the G-Force Racing Leagues in the 2020 winter season. Trevor started 16th in this week's Sportsman Division feature. He passed 14 cars to finish on the podium in position number 2. So congratulations, Trevor Mattingly, your NSM Photos Driver of the Week. NSM Photos Driver of the Week. A&J Custom Creations bringing you the A main here tonight. They specialize in laser engraving and CNC machining. A&J Custom Creations puts its craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque that they produce. Of course, in tonight's A&J Custom Creations A main, we'll have your 2W's Plumbing Hard Charger Award up for grabs. 2W's Plumbing is located in Naples, New York. They're a full-service company specializing in all aspects of plumbing, general contracting, and water treatment for commercial, residential, and multifamily housing. You can learn more at 2WSPlumbingLLC.com or give them a call at 585-749-9478. Malcolm Mills will bring us our replays here tonight. Malcolm Mills is based in Oakland, Ontario, and they're a full-service mill writing contractor featuring custom welding and fabricating, plus service for industrial clients. That's Malcolm Mills Mill Writing, bringing you tonight's replays. Of course, we'll also talk to our podium finishers in Victory Lane after the A&J Custom Creations feature event. And that presentation brought to us by Epsilon Sprint Wraps. If you're looking to stand out from the competition, Epsilon Sprint Wraps creates tailor-made graphics and logos to fit your personal taste. With a focus on realistic design, you'll look like you drove right off your local dirt track and into iRacing. Champions choose Epsilon Sprint Wraps. A&J Custom Creations bringing us this 30-lapper tonight from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, on full display here tonight with the G-Force Racing League Renegade Series presented by A&J Custom Creations. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for tonight's main event. 30 laps around, 24 cars set to start. Here is your starting lineup. Starting outside the 12th row, he drives the number 29. That's Steven Fernberg. And starting 23rd on the grid in the 519, it's Rob Shaw. Your 22nd starter outside the 11th row in car number 5, it's Donovan Ross. And starting 21st in the number 46, it's Joe Backus. We go to the 10th row on the outside. It's Connor Ross in car number 35. And inside of him, it's the 661 of Terry Landis. Row number 9 now on the outside. In the 513, it's Jeffrey Barker. And going from position number 17, your quick timer this evening, the 30 of Stephen Goldner. To the 8th row on the outside, in car number 51 from Indiana, it's John Short. And inside of him, in car number 11, starting 15th, it's Chad Koda. Row number 7 on the outside, in the 217, it's Jack Hitt. And to his inside, driving the 71, it's John Hine. 6th row on the outside, in the number 45, it's Matt Ramsey. And starting 11th in the 78, it's Jack Clevenger. Your top 10 starters go like this. Outside the 5th row, in the 123, it's Lane Snook. And starting 9th on the grid, in the 010, it's Ross Carenta. Row number 4 on the outside in 03, last week's winner, Sean Bowers. And going from 7th in the 301, Michael Redding. 3rd row on the outside in the 161, it's Max Langevin. And lining up 5th in car number 80, Chris Steele. Row number 2 on the outside, it's Kyle Moonen in car number 24. And starting third from Minnesota, they call him Fitz Perfect. It's Jeff Fitzpatrick. And your front row on the outside, the 57 is Jesse Bandy. And on the pole, the 69 of Aiden Young. 30 times around the Knoxville Raceway, it's time to get it on. The Renegades, presented by A&J Custom Creations, are green at Knoxville. Aiden Young out to the initial lead, but Jesse Bandy trying to grab it with the momentum. He'll have it in the 57. They all try to sort things out down the back straightaway and hustling now through 3 and 4 up to speed. Jesse Bandy in the 57 machine leads lap number 1 with 29 to go. Kyle Moonen in the second spot. Aiden Young back to third as Moonen gets a run around the outside. And here comes Jeff Fitzpatrick in the 90 looking to do the same. That high line is fast here early in this A-main at the Knoxville Raceway. Fitzpatrick looking for third. Aiden Young trying to hold onto it, cannot do so. Fitzpatrick starting to build that momentum in the 90 machine, is up to the third spot, and Young may lose another spot as here comes Bowers coming to call on the top shelf and bringing with him Lane Snook trying to get into the top 5, and they'll do so off of turn number 4. Snook in the 123 grabs the 5th spot. Right now that's 69 of Aiden Young. He is trapped on the bottom line and falling like a rock. He's going to have to try to make a big move and get to the top of the racetrack. Ross Corrento does that just behind him, puts the slide job on the 301 of Michael Redding. That was for 9th. Up front, it is Jesse Bandy in the 57 as we go on board the 301 of Michael Redding running in 9th. You see the bent up bumper in front of him. He's giving somebody a little how do you do at some point early on in this race. We're 5 laps into this 30. The 010 of Ross Correnta is the black and blue car you see just in front of him. The white car was Aiden Young in the 69. Young right now runs in the 8th spot. Let's take a peek out front. It's starting to get tight for that race lead. Jesse Bandy has it in the 57, but Kyle Moonen taking a peek to his inside off of turn number 4. That's happening just in front of the 90 of Fitzpatrick. They all run the top shelf into turn number 1, now off of turn number 2. Can Jesse Bandy hold on for this one? I'm going to take a look at some lap times here. It looks like Moonen has been just a little bit quicker the last couple of laps as he closes in on Jesse Bandy and looks for the race lead down into turn number 1. Slide job, puts the 24 out front, but here comes Bandy peeking back to his inside, cannot get there. Kyle Moonen, your new race leader. Slide job in turn number 3. Bandy back to the point. Moonen's going to cross over, and we're side by side for the race lead. At the stripe, it's Kyle Moonen now leading with 22 to go. Moonen leads. Bandy in the 2nd spot. Fitzpatrick in 3rd. Bowers in 4th, and Snook trying to come to call on the inside in the 123. The 123 of Snook and the 03 of Sean Bowers side by side for the 4th spot. Just right there with the 90 of Fitzpatrick. A good look there as they went by of the 123 of Lane Snook, who's now got the 3rd position with a slide job on the 90 of Fitzpatrick. And here comes Sean Bowers to his inside. The 03 trying to pour the daily double. He's got 1, he's got 2. The 03 of Bowers now up to 3rd. Snook back to his inside, side by side by the flag stand with 20 to go. So 10 in, 20 to go as they are 3 cars battling for the 3rd spot. Snook has it now in the 123. He'll dive to the bottom. He'll hook that bottom line, trying to take the inside line and come after the 57 of Jesse Bandy, who runs position 2. Bandy right now is 3.5 tenths behind your race leader. Snook working to the bottom, took a peek inside Bandy, couldn't get it done. He'll try again with another peek to the inside, down in turn 3. Bandy putting the right rear literally against the wall off of turn number 4, and we're side by side by the flag stand, down into 1 for that 2nd spot, and here comes the 10 of Correnta. Correnta in 4th. He took a shot at Jesse Bandy, couldn't get there. Correnta now dives to the bottom in turn number 3. He'll hook right next to that berm, coming after Bandy for the position, but the 57 holds on to 3rd. Let's go on board the 123 of Lane Snook as he works to the inside of Moonen for the race lead. Suddenly, we've got a battle for the lead. The 123 of Lane Snook battle for 3rd as well going on behind that with Correnta and Bandy. Give it now to the 10 of Correnta coming forward. Lots of action here in this one at the Knoxville Raceway. By the way, Lane Snook in 2nd, started in 10th on the grid, and he is challenging for the race lead. And we've got our first caution flag of the event, just shy of the halfway point in this A&J Custom Creations A main event from Knoxville. Whew, how do you like the start of this one so far? It has been dynamic out there on the racetrack. Trying to see if I can find anything that may have caused the caution here. Looks like John Hine taking the 71 to the infield for perhaps a quick repair down there. I'm going to click back here, see if I can figure out what happened to Hine in the 71 machine. He was battling with some other cars out there, including the 519. Gonna look. Oh, somebody got into the wall. Donovan Ross got into the wall in front of them. Then it was 4 wide, and a big pileup ensued here on the front straightaway when that happened. So Malcolm Mills virtual replay here on this one, but John Hine getting the short end of the stick here with several cars getting piled up in that one. Also looks like it caused some damage. Several of the cars deep in the field. Rob Shaw took some damage. Michael Redding got some damage. So they've all lost a lot of spots out there on the racetrack. All right, we're under the caution. Let's set this one as we get set for the green off of turn number 4. Your race leader out front is Kyle Moonen. That number 24 machine looking strong here tonight. Battled with Jesse Bandy and then took over the race lead. And he brings us back to the green off of turn number 4. Kyle Moonen, again, your race leader. 42 times he's finished in the top 10 with the GeForce Racing Leagues, has 5 career wins. He'd like to make it number 6. He's got half of this feature to hold on with that 123 of Lane Snook, who started 10th, restarting position number 2. Pace picks up. We are back underway here at Knoxville. Down into 1. They will hustle. Oh, Carenta nearly got into the back end of the 123 of Snook. Carenta first out of that top 3 to go to the very top shelf of the racetrack. Bottom group seeming to come in just a little bit. Enough moisture down there, middle to bottom, to make it work for these drivers, as they've, looks like many of them given up on the very top side of the racetrack in the front of the order. As we say that, the 123 of Lane Snook went to the top off of turn number 2, trying to get there. Starting to run a little bit of it's called a slider line here in iRacing, where they go in more towards the bottom and let the momentum carry them up towards the top, kind of like you would if you were doing a slide job. Just doesn't mean you have to pass anybody. Big run here from the 123 of Lane Snook. Then the car got just a little bit loose off the exit of turn number 2. He cannot capitalize on that run, and Kyle Moonen leads off of turn number 4 as Ross Carenta got the 10 car all sorts of sideways, running in 3rd. There's a big race starting to form up behind that top 3. It involves the 57 of Jesse Bandy, who's in 4th. Sean Bowers in the 03. And look at this, Steven Goldner from the B main is looking to get into the top 5. They're 3 wide off of turn number 4. Bandy slides up just in front of the 30 of Goldner. Jack Clevenger right in that mix as well with the 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick. 5 cars, put a blanket over them as they come down the front or the back straightaway right past you. Into turn 3, they hustle, still trying to make it 3 wide, and they will off of turn number 4. 3 wide for the position. Here comes the 30 of Steven Goldner, plus 13 positions as we start to race out front for the lead. Kyle Moonen in the 24 with Lane Snook closing in on him in the 123. Knoxville never disappoints. The Renegades never disappointed. You bring them together, and this is what we have. A dynamic A-main here tonight, brought to us by A&J Custom Creations. Big run for Lane Snook. He gets to the tail tank of Kyle Moonen, and he'll go to the top shelf, and he goes hunting off of turn number 4. Cannot get there. Kyle Moonen, great drive back up to a quarter of a second advantage. Ross Carenta behind them by about 9 car lengths, watching that battle for the lead. Meanwhile, Steven Goldner plus 13 spots. He runs 4th, and Sean Bowers in 5th. Jack Clevenger right there with him in 6th as they come off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. 7 laps to go. Starting to bang that top line once again are these drivers, but out front, Kyle Moonen and Lane Snook still mostly running the middle of the Knoxville Raceway. Interesting line here. I thought you'd have to be on the very bottom or the very top, but these drivers with the talent in their right feet able to control the throttle and the wheel spin. As you take a look back at the 123 of Lane Snook trying to close in for the race lead, cannot get there off of turn number 4. 5 fingers in the air. We've got 5 laps to go here at the Knoxville Raceway. Carrenta starting to close in that 10 machine just a bit. He may have something to say before this one is over, as the caution flag changes everything, and it waves at Knoxville with 5 laps to go. Oh my, is this going to get interesting? Kyle Moonen working on career win number 6 with the GeForce Racing Leagues, and now they're all going to bunch up right there on his tail tank for a restart, and 5 laps to go. Oh, get your popcorn ready. This is going to get interesting right here. Talked about the 5 career wins for Kyle Moonen, who's out front. Lane Snook, 19 times he has been to victory lane in a GeForce Racing League. He restarts in the 2nd spot. Restarting in 3rd is that 0-10 machine of Ross Carrenta. Ross, not the week he wanted last week with the series, so he's got some damage control to do. He's got 2 career wins with the GeForce Racing League. Behind them, from the B main, is Steven Goldner in the number 30. Goldner, remember, he had trouble in the heat race. Lost out, had to come through that B. He has 23 career wins with the GeForce Racing Leagues. He's restarting in the 4th spot. And Sean Bowers completing your top 5 most recent victor in this division. That was the 6th win of his career with the GeForce Racing Leagues. So that's a look at your top 5 and some of their statistics with the GeForce Racing League. What do statistics mean on the racetrack? Nothing. We're going to find out who's got the car and the talent to win a 5-lap dash. The A&J Custom Creations Renegades of the GeForce Racing League ready for that green off of turn number 4. Kyle Moonen sets the pace, drops the right foot. They're spinning the tires off of turn number 4 and coming back to life. Great start for Kyle Moonen. Here comes the 10 of Carrenta on the bottom. Ross Carrenta looking for 2nd. He's got it by an inch, but does he? Lane Snook battling back through the middle. Steven Goldner right there in that mix as well. Snook goes to the top of the racetrack, and we've got 4 laps to go. Side by side for 2nd. Top 3 all use a different groove, getting into turn number 1 and a different groove off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they race. Here comes that 30 of Goldner to the outside of the 10 of Carrenta. Just behind them, Sean Bowers in 5th. Clevenger in 6th. Throw a blanket over the top 6 as we've got 2 laps to go here at Knoxville. Carrenta on the bottom. He's got Snook, or does he? Snook builds that momentum as they come off of turn number 2, regains the spot, and the yellow flag is out. Trouble over there in turn number 1. A car slow. It's Terry Landis on the speedway in the 661 machine, and we are under the caution. Oh my, oh my. Kyle Moonen did not want to see that yellow. His restart was absolutely perfect. I mean, lights out. Perfect. Let's see if I can get a peek here. Malcolm Mills virtual replay here. The 661 of Terry Landis had trouble down there in turn number 1. It looks like he was racing for position with the 35 of Connor Ross. They were right there about 9th and 10th, and a little bit of contact sent the 661 of Landis around, and he backed it into the outside wall down there in turn 1, and that brought out the caution. So the Epsilon Sprint Wraps 661 of Terry Landis going to have to go to the tail for this restart, and we'll get set to go out front. Oh my. What's it going to be? Can Kyle Moonen nail the restart like he did the last time? Lane Snook, I think he spun the tires just a little bit on that last restart. May have gotten on the gas just a little bit too hard. We'll see if they change their game plans here off of turn number 4 with just a couple of laps to go in this A main. Steven Goldner plus 13 positions to run in 4th on this restart with a couple to go. Don't count him out just yet. Boy, oh boy, has this been a good one. A&J Custom Creations bringing us this A feature. Let's go on to Steven Goldner's number 30. He restarts in fourth. You see Ross Carenta just in front of them as they get set for this green flag. You see the pace truck drop him off, and we come back to the start. Moonen puts the left rear in the moisture, and another dynamic restart. Even better this time for Kyle Moonen. He'll lead him down into turn number 1. Immediately, Carenta goes to the inside of Lane Snook. Snook in the second spot, powers away from Carenta. Moonen's lead. 0.2 of a second as they enter turn number 3. Off of turn number 4, Justin Clark's got the white flag out. Final time around here at Knoxville. Lane Snook takes a look to the inside of Moonen. He gets side by side, but Moonen better drive off of turn number 2. Final time down the back straightaway and in turn number 3. Snook's going to throw it. Here comes the 30 of Goldner trying to come around the top, but it's Kyle Moonen in the 24 getting the win. Lane Snook will finish in second. Ross Carenta finishes third. Steven Goldner in fourth. And Jack Clevenger will finish in the top 5 in car 78. What a race here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway for this GForce Racing League's Renegades, presented by A&J Custom Creations. What an event here tonight at Knoxville. And stick around. We will have an opportunity to hear from our award recipients here tonight in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane for our top 3 finishers. And we'll also have your 2Ws Plumbing Hard Charger Award to present here in just a few moments. First, your unofficial finish tonight in the A&J Custom Creations A main goes like this. Kyle Moonen, your race leader. Lane Snook finishes second. Ross Carenta third. Steven Goldner fourth. And Jack Clevenger your top 5, as we mentioned before. Last week's A-Main winner, the 03 of Sean Bowers, was 6th. Jeff Fitzpatrick, 7th at car number 90. The 51 of John Short comes back after trouble early in his heat race to finish in the 8th spot. Max Langevin was 9th at the 161. And Joe Backus with a top 10 here tonight in car 46. Connor Ross was 11th and 35. The 69 of Aiden Young, 12th. Chad Cota finishes 13th in the 11. Matt Ramsey was 14th at 45. And the 301 of Michael Redding in 15th. Jeffrey Barker was 16th in the 513, the 29 of Steven Fernberg 17th, Jack Hitt 18th in the 217, Terry Landis 19th in the 661, and Donovan Ross finishes 20th in car number 5. Jesse Bandy in the 57 was 21st, Chris Steele 22nd in the 80, the 519 of Rob Shaw 23rd, and 24th tonight to John Hine in car number 71. Oh, that was a great A-main here tonight. Steven Goldner traveled many positions in this one. How many positions did Steven Goldner travel? From the B main, he goes plus 13 to finish in the 4th spot. And Steven Goldner is going to pick up tonight's 2W's Plumbing Hard Charger Award. Again, 2W's Plumbing, located in Naples, New York. 2W's Plumbing, a full-service company specializing in all aspects of plumbing, general contracting, and water treatment for commercial, residential, and multifamily housing. Let's get a word here with Steven Goldner, your hard charger. Steven, you come out fire and hot in Bandy-built qualification, setting quick time, and then trouble in your heat race. What does it mean to come back here and salvage not just a top 5, but a 4th place run after that trouble?
Yeah, we had some issues in the heat race there and had some good speed in the B main, which put us in a good spot. I mean, we still had to pass a ton of cars, but we were fast all night. I don't know if we had enough for the top 3 there. All those 3 guys were pretty quick, but we definitely had a great run.
Not a lot of cautions tonight to make up those positions as well. Did that help or hurt your advance towards the front?
It helped for a little bit because everyone was kind of spread out enough for me to make the moves I needed to get positions. But some cautions did come my way. I know the top 4 or 5 were broken away a little bit there, and caution reeling back in for me, but got me a couple spots, but not enough to get on the podium.
Still a good run tonight here for you, Steven. Congratulations on the 2W's Plumbing Hard Charger Award.
Thank you.
So Steven Goldner, your 2W's Plumbing Hard Charger Award. He finished in the 4th spot. 1 spot ahead of him. Let's talk to your podium finishers here tonight. And we're going to start things off with the driver who finished in position number 3 here this evening. Ross Carenta finishes 3rd. You're sitting down here in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane, Ross. A very strong run here tonight. You made several positions gained as well. Started 9th on the grid and suddenly found yourself up there battling in the top 3.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people wanted to go high right away. For some reason, the car felt good on the bottom, so I just stayed there, and I noticed I was kind of picking away people one at a time, and just kind of held my line until it slicked off. Then it was kind of hope Lane or Kyle would make a mistake, and then a couple of yellows came out there at the end, and I saw Goldner on my butt, so told myself I can't let him pass me and let the Vanderbilt guys sweep this.
You made a great point about the start of that race. It seemed like everyone jumped to the top shelf, and some guys that were towards the front and trying to hug the bottom, they weren't going anywhere. So your car, you must have had something set just right for the early portion of this race to gain spots on the bottom.
Yeah, we've actually got a couple setups here for this track, and I told myself I would probably be on the bottom. I know how the track slicks off in this league, so I knew I was going to run the bottom a little bit more than I normally would. So I put that setup in, and I think it paid off.
Last few laps, you had a couple chances on some restarts there. How up on the wheel were you when you were coming to the green?
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking. You know, the last thing you want to do, obviously, when the track slicks off like that, is overdrive it. But I think I did a couple times, spun the tires, and it just wouldn't allow me to catch Lane and Kyle.
Nonetheless, another good, solid podium finish here tonight in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane presentation. Good run for you in the 10 team. Congratulations, Ross. So Ross Carenta finishes in the third spot here tonight. Just in front of him at the checkered was the driver of the 123 machine. Second consecutive week he has been on the podium, and that is Lane Snook. Lane, you had a couple shots there with some restarts at the very end. What was the game plan when you had those restarts with a handful of laps to go?
I don't know. I was just trying stuff to get around them. I didn't really know where to go just because it was pretty hard to pass them. But I was trying to run the slider line and get a good run off the top, but I didn't get good enough one to get around them.
You tried that slider line several times, Lane, and then once you were able to take one shot to his inside down in turns 1 and 2, did you think you had something for him at that point?
I did, but I just came up short.
Talk about what it means for you to come out with this new Winter 2021 point series, and you're on the podium 2 consecutive weeks. That's got to be a great start.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm just glad I'm able to be on the podium, honestly. Ever since I got with Vanderbilt, I wasn't really that good. I mean, I was good, but I wasn't as good.
Well, you're looking good, and you've got another Vanderbilt car parked right next to you there in Victory Lane. Another solid run for you, Lane, and congratulations on that.
Yep, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody at Vanderbilt.
Very good.
Jesse, Kyle, Brennan, Steven, Jeff, Brandon, and Vanderbilt Race Cars, Velocity Designs, Dirt Doctor Trucking, Bio.com, Powerhouse Motorsports, Wagman Brothers, GForce Racing Leagues, The Broadcast, Universal Settlement Service, Dacron Howard Associates, Keystone Alliance, KKP, Keys Recording Products, Fox's Pizza Den, Mexico Ridge Beef Farm, and Snook Dirt Designs.
Lane, I've got to ask you one more question. You rattled off all of your sponsors there like a seasoned pro. How old are you?
I'm only 12.
And you're doing this just like you've been racing for 12 years. Congratulations on the podium run tonight. Lane Snook in the second spot. And let's talk to your feature winner here tonight. It is Kyle Moonen, driver of that number 24 machine. Kyle, that car was on a rail. At least it looked like it was from our vantage point.
Yeah, it was. I definitely had a good car tonight. I was definitely pleased with it.
Things seemed to be going your way. You had everyone kind of at bay behind you, and then 5 laps to go. The dreaded caution flag. What goes through your mind at that point?
About that exactly. I was like, no, I didn't want it. Especially, I know right before we had that one, I think Lane and I had a decent lead, and like maybe someone else was back there too. But It made me nervous. Lane definitely made me stay on my feet. There wasn't any room for mistakes, that's for sure.
Mistakes certainly you did not make on those restarts. It looked like you really hooked up, and you were able to pull at least 6 car lengths down the front straightaway each time you came back to the green.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on those a little bit. Mainly just trying to change it up when you have a couple cautions right there in a row. It's not good to do the same thing. Just they know what you're doing. So.
And it worked to perfection. What does it mean to you to get your 6th career win with the GForce Racing Leagues here tonight?
This is pretty cool, actually. It's been a while. I've only won, with the Renegades maybe a few times. I think a few of those wins are probably elite qualifiers. It's tough to win. It's a good group of guys. Always kind of wish the one car was here, Brandon. So, you could give him a run for it. But it's rest of the field. It's definitely a tough group of guys to race with.
Great quality racing here tonight, as always. You're standing here with the trophy in victory lane.
Yep. It's nice. Glad to get it done. Just gotta thank everyone at Bandy built, Jesse, Brandon, and Fitz. They spend a lot of time on the sets and get them going good, and it works out really well. They do a hell of a job on them. Worked with Brandon a little bit yesterday. That worked out for me a little bit, I think. So, yep. Other than that, Ross Kren at Velocity Race Designs. He keeps all the cars looking good for sure. Definitely happy with his work, and thanks you guys for the broadcast, and Roger and Preston and John and everyone else for the league.
And finally, I've got to ask. It looks like our next event with this series, anyway, is Lanier. On the 4th of January will be Big Blocks, I think, run next Monday night with Christmas changing the schedule. But you stretched your legs on the big track here tonight. What do you think we go back to another tight bull ring for the next event? How do your chances look?
I like Lanier, actually. I think that was one of the other wins I had was there. So I'm not too worried about it. Just try to qualify decent, run good in the heat race, and start towards the front and see what I can do. So.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to that one. Kyle Moonen, congratulations on the win here tonight at Knoxville.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There he is, Kyle Moonen, your winner tonight in the number 24 machine. Lane Snook, a 2nd place run, and Ross Carenta completing the podium. What a great night here at the Knoxville Raceway for the GForce Racing League A&J Custom Creations Renegades. Again, I believe we've got big block modifieds next Monday at this time on GForce Esports because they're off this Thursday for the Christmas holiday. Tonight's been produced by AdvantageRacing.tv. You can go online to www.advantageracing.tv and see their entire menu of rebroadcasts that you can watch from the past seasons. And when the schedule comes around here closer into 2021, you'll see all of their events there as well that you can watch from the comfort of your home. You can even watch it on your phone, on your Roku app, all sorts of great ways from the great folks with Advantage Racing TV as well. From all of us here with the GForce Racing Leagues and from Advantage Racing TV and from myself, Sean Niestead, I am wishing you all a very, very Merry Christmas here in 2020, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Big Block Modifieds on Monday, and we'll start the new year at Lanier with the GForce Racing League A&J Custom Creations Renegades. Until then, good night, and God bless everybody.